Greetings, dear friends, and a heartfelt welcome to you all. Live in vibrant color and stereo sound from the most stunning island on the planet, Cyprus, at Peru Place. I am Peru, and I extend a warm invitation to you for yet another episode of Lego Bricktales. Yes, it's a bit of a practice program for me for the new segment that will soon start here on this channel, namely Peru Plays Analog. I would genuinely like to thoroughly enjoy and creatively build some intricate construction bricks with you, and I sincerely hope you're feeling a bit excited about this. As a little preview and a small practice for myself, as I mentioned, we've started with Lego Bricktales here. It's a nice little thing, not a big story. We are tasked with the responsibility to, in essence, rescue our uncle's amusement park, who happens to be an eccentric scientist. For that, we need happiness crystals, which means we have to jump through portals and help people all over the world. And with these happiness crystals, we should hopefully be able to rebuild this park. Everything's going well so far. We have successfully located our uncle and liberated him from peril. We have acquired the initial portal, signifying that we are prepared for the first expedition. I find it hard to believe it could have been made any more concise. Indeed, I genuinely hope you experience a significant amount of enjoyment with it. If you find it enjoyable, kindly remember to leave a like or a follow here. Feel free to subscribe, and you can also explore the shop, which is completely new. There are great items, especially for winter. Here's a nice hoodie or something like that. Check it out, link in the video description. So enough chit chat, let's get down to business. What do we have here? The jungle. The jungle would indeed be our subsequent destination. Alright, I would suggest let's proceed onward. And here we find ourselves indeed. Luxuriant greenery, refreshing air, and enigmatic ruins. Let's thoroughly explore the surrounding area. Alright, let's proceed with it. What I also find unfortunate here, I notice it again and again, the bigger the brand, the lazier they get. No offense, but how is it possible that you can no longer manage to voice your games in different languages? That can't be true. Oh, there was quite a significant rumble. I believe an aircraft came down. Did you happen to witness that? The small aircraft had to execute an emergency landing in the mountainous region, and it was difficult to miss both visually and audibly. I observed a few parachutes. Hopefully everyone is all right. We must proceed immediately to assist these individuals. Yes, that's precisely what we shall do. We can construct something here, perhaps a staircase to reach the rocks. Yes. Let's continue constructing here. Okay, let's examine what materials we have available. All plates 10 by 10. We have them each 10 times. Let's take a look here. So let's commence here. Building with the controller is naturally a bit challenging. There's no denying that. I'm just contemplating how we should construct, but we'll figure it out somehow. I want to build it as stable as possible. I wonder if it's sufficient if we build here as I'm envisioning with just one step at a time. That would be quite user-friendly, I would say. How many do we have remaining? 5 of the double ones. We're working with a double floor here, so to speak. Okay, one more can go in, one more can fit. Let's see, I thought we didn't require all of them here, right? Relocate one downward here. Oh, this particular one is excessively wide at the moment. Oh, hold on a moment. Does the alternative one fit presently? Hold on a moment. Yes, you remain there. I did not intend to pick you up once more. I mean, this specific one here. Does it fit appropriately? Can it fit in between like that? Is that enough? Oh, well, there should definitely be an additional one positioned in between. Now, hold on a moment. That's just excessively thin once more. So let's conduct an experimental trial run here. Robbie, proceed. Yes, it holds. It certainly holds. That's what truly matters. As long as it doesn't disintegrate on us, is there anything else to bring along with us? I am merely pondering before we proceed further. All right, and shortly we shall resume with the construction of the pedestrian bridge spanning the river. Thus, quite an extensive amount of bridge building on this day. Well, all right, then I would suggest we enthusiastically carry on. What do we have present here? Let us zoom out slightly more here. We have 7 elongated bridge sections, 8 shorter ones, and right over here we have planks. But for what exact purpose? Certainly, well, these appear to be structural supports that are replicated 14 times, resembling the railings. Let's carefully observe and see how we advance from that particular point onward. Well, come on. All right, so what is currently concerning me somewhat is the unusual quantity of these items present here, materials and so forth. Hold on a moment. This is causing me to feel somewhat uncertain here. Now let's elevate this to the next level. It absolutely must surpass the current state. Hold on a moment. I definitely need to provide assistance for this now, I think, or else I'll encounter a complication. I'm contemplating how to progress. Well, this appears satisfactory thus far, but my actions are not particularly effective. Not effective at all. Please hold on for a moment. Does this fit properly in this location like this? Not yet entirely finished at this particular moment. How can I support this now? Currently, I am feeling somewhat confused, so kindly bear with me for a brief moment as we still possess these lower options available here. If I now, just a moment, I have a thought, if I place these beneath the supports and wait a little longer below. Well, I must express, all right, the episode could potentially be lengthier today, so you'll need to bear with it. All right, at this particular point, let us proceed forward with this specific option. Does it appropriately align if I wait for just a brief moment? Not precisely, correct? And if I decide to take 2 over there, just a moment, we still have a total of 7 remaining. Please hold on, I wish to understand this right now. Therefore, we absolutely must support this particular thing, because otherwise I believe it will be catastrophic in this situation. Yes, that would work, for example, but I would rather have it here in the middle. Does he do this here? Is he doing it with us? The stones seem too bright. No, but yeah, what do you want to do? So, alright, here we already possess a support structure, which signifies, you understand, that it additionally bears the weight, correct? Taking into consideration that this is quite an extended stretch at this specific moment in time, then we'll add another layer here, as usual. And then we take this guy here, who somehow isn't playing along, at least not the way I imagined. So we've certainly provided support here for the time being. It's not particularly attractive, nor is it flawless, but it is something we can work with. I would certainly provide supplementary support from underneath this area here. Please hold on for a brief moment. If I proceed to push this into position now and subsequently lower it, we will then achieve the same height. At that point, I could potentially construct a support structure right in the center here. I am entirely confident that we are definitely within the secure area and absolutely nothing should happen. Let us consider this. Why has it turned red at this moment? I don't understand that now. Why is it red now? That is insufficient for him. That is inadequate for them in this situation. That is the reason why the ones located at the bottom here are red. Go. In any situation, we have a support structure in the center. We can try right away to see if the robot can overcome it or if it will turn away. We need to check it quickly. If he comes, it'll be fine. This is significantly deeper than I originally anticipated. It extends much further downward. Observe, it's merely displaying this section to me here. Oh dear, this truly does not provide assistance in any manner whatsoever. Please hold on for just a brief moment because I would indeed require descending a total of 14 blocks here. And that is exactly the reason he is never on the ground, correct? Is this the ground here for him? That's completely crazy. No, however, it holds. Indeed, it holds. I'm somewhat perplexed right now, my friends. I'm genuinely quite bewildered at this moment, to be completely honest. Therefore, I wish to see if I can enhance it a bit more nicely with some additional embellishment. Even if it is not constructed with professional expertise, at the very least it possesses a minimal degree of aesthetic challenge here. It may not be grand in architectural terms, but it certainly has an eye for shapes. Certainly, observe attentively, we have a multitude of planks available here to ensure he can grasp onto them securely. Theoretically, we might possibly continue in this way at this point. In that specific situation, for instance, we might pause for just a brief moment. The game over sound you are referring to, let's examine it more closely. Oh, indeed, we still have this gradual progression, you see. That's precisely what I really desired. If we carefully and precisely slide the stone underneath at this specific moment, exactly like this, then we have the ability to move the entire structure, the railing over here, further for enhanced safety and so on. Well, if we're already crafting here, then we'll take the time for it. Therefore, slightly higher. All right, let's move forward. And just a little bit more elevated, slightly higher, young gentlemen, that's sufficient. Kindly hold on for a brief moment, as I think I haven't entirely grasped this concept just yet. Please wait for a second, we need to ensure this. Is this extending up to the midpoint? So, I need to make an attempt at this initially. Therefore, I am not entirely certain yet if this is exactly what I had envisioned, but let us observe. Of course, there's still a piece missing here. Let's proceed for the time being. I am curious to observe where this path leads us and whether it functions even remotely in the manner I anticipated. I've already addressed one in this manner and have also addressed the one situated over here. Two are peeking out with exceptional precision and remarkable accuracy. At this specific moment in time, however, I find myself with merely two of each left. Kindly pause for a brief moment, place this specific one in the middle, and arrange the other colleague in an analogous manner. I still possess one remaining actually. Nevertheless, it doesn't genuinely matter at this particular point in time. I have already created quite a mess in that area. That was not particularly intelligent, or hold on a moment. Before we continue, I want to test something. Let's take this railing here. Wait, does this fit now? Huh? Because then we don't really need the long white ones. Let's take a look. Observe, we even have it in a continuous manner here. Hold on for a brief moment, then we can reorganize the entire arrangement. Wait a moment, let's approach it differently here. Let's remove this particular one. So, and here we'll do it exactly the same way as we did on the opposite side. Now we shall incorporate the central one here as well. Kindly maintain a bit of distance here. Does this fit in that particular manner? Does it fit? Does it wobble? Is there room? Alright, that's excellent. Then, as previously mentioned, let's proceed to take an additional railing right here. It should fit perfectly in this particular spot. Absolutely, I genuinely love it when a plan successfully comes together. Marvelous, marvelous. It probably won't win any beauty awards right now, that's clear. But yes, at least something seems to be working here. At this point we can proceed if we choose. How many of those plates are available? At this particular moment in time, we are now completely capable of proceeding with the installation of these specific components, particularly these larger plates that we currently have in our possession right here. What are their precise dimensions? Hold on for just a brief moment. Does it now appear somewhat more refined, resembling a bridge, and recognizable as a bridge, I would indeed say. Well, if you're going to do it, you might as well make it nice. It doesn't always have to be just practical. Every now and then you should treat yourself, don't you think? At this point, we now possess 2 additional boards of this kind. That should indeed be sufficient for the entirety of our structure in this location. Let's examine it closely. Certainly, please wait for a brief moment and kindly come over here, Johnny. Absolutely, observe, it's nearly deluxe. Ideally, I would have preferred to incorporate some form of support in the center. However, clearly it suffices for us, thus it ought to suffice for me as well. In that specific situation, I would highly recommend that we proceed forward with it. Indeed, we now have our newly built bridge in the game, and I think it's quite impressive. What we build appears in the game, and it's truly delightful. It's a stable bridge. But would you like to be a bit more imaginative? Then take a glance at this. What might it be? Oh, I am able to acquire some knowledge here once more. Hold on a moment. Construct a pedestrian bridge across the river. Well, we are already aware that whenever you complete a construction task for the initial time, you have the ability to activate the sandbox mode for it. However, at this moment, we actually already possess the sandbox, so we will simply bypass this section for the time being. Alright, let's continue onward. Oh, it seems that we are necessitated to travel in the northern direction from this particular spot. Very well, we are now commencing our expedition heading towards the north. Oh, assistance, if you would be so kind. How did we end up becoming stranded up here? Assistance, I am in need of anything. Just a brief moment. The statue situated over there appears to be from the late, what was it again, Paleolithic era. I sincerely hope I pronounced that accurately. That most certainly needs to be included in my research notes. Where exactly was I? I believe it was with assistance. Ah, yes, now I remember. Help. Yes, I told you, I can't get out of here on my own. Well, we'll have to see if and what we can do about it. No need to worry. We'll get her down from there before she can say thank you. Whether it will be that fast, I don't know. Rescue the archaeologist. So now let's take a look what's going on here. Faze, please hold on for just a moment longer, as it appears to me that the platform is extremely unstable and may not adequately support any additional weight. Alright, should I reinforce it, or what should I do? We should build something underneath to support it. Yes, exactly, my wheels. Alright, at this particular moment I am genuinely quite fascinated. Oh my goodness. This particular situation seems to be quite unfavorable indeed. At this particular point, I must take a moment to thoughtfully contemplate how we might effectively construct something with this. Therefore, what I am observing here is merely a floor platform, which it seems I am unable to move either. They appear to be in pairs, and I am not fond of that in the slightest. Certainly now indeed, let us undertake a more comprehensive examination. I just have a somewhat spontaneous idea at this very moment, and I'm uncertain if it will indeed be successful, but well, we shall discover soon enough. A little bit higher up. I would now attempt to rotate these two structures, these arches, toward one another so that we initially have something resembling a surface, and then we can construct downward, because at this moment it appears that building downward from there is not feasible. Nope. Young gentleman, could you kindly come over here without delay? Why can't I build on top? Hold on. So if we go higher now... However, indeed, that is precisely how it generally unfolds. I believe you can probably already deduce what I am intending. Yes, exactly that. Certainly, in a manner of articulating it, we already possess an essential framework. Please hold on for a moment. I will take care of it from this point onward. I find it simple to build from the top since I can see where I want to end up at the bottom. That's why I'm doing it this way now. Bam. So it's genuinely not that straightforward to construct in this particular manner. No kidding, it's truly not that simple. We have encountered these 6 instances now. We do not truly have substantial things to construct here, do we? That is causing me a bit of concern at the moment. Indeed, I'm genuinely intrigued now. This will be the first minor yet notably significant challenge. I know it sounds awkwardly phrased, but I believe you get what I'm trying to convey. Yes, it is. Indeed, I'm genuinely uncertain about how we can proceed forward in a sensible and logical manner from this point onward. Therefore, we must ascend in one manner or another. There's absolutely no alternative, but we must take into account that it needs to support the whole surface area. That's what's concerning me somewhat at this moment. Apparently we only have one support, but it still has to hold. This is stressing me out a bit. Am I able to rotate it solely to the left and right and not invert it? That's the situation at the moment. Indeed, I don't believe it functions properly, correct? Yes, I am truly only capable of rotating it. This is making me feel a bit jittery right now. So, just hold on for a moment. You won't believe it. Just hold on for a moment. How do we achieve this in the most efficient manner now? We have to do this somehow. Yes, we need to shift the weight to the center. That's my initial thought for now. Whether what I'm currently doing here and now truly makes any sense, I am uncertain, folks. Honestly, I genuinely have no idea what I'm doing at this moment. But indeed, it somehow has to function. It somehow has to function. I sincerely believe that this is indeed going to be an improvisation at this specific point in time, as this is not going to operate in this manner. How was it again with this and that and that? I am completely bewildered by the controls here, and I sincerely apologize. Gaining just a slight amount of distance from the entire situation once again, it was all a bit too close for my comfort. So, down, 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 down. That ought to fit, correct? Indeed, indeed, it doesn't appear particularly elegant. That's evident. I believe we all concur on that point. What I am currently concentrating on, and exclusively concentrating on, is that we somehow establish a connection that transitions over there, so that it rests on the foundation. I am uncertain whether it will fit properly, so please wait a moment. How much do we require here in order to ascend to that point? At first glance, it looks so simple and logical, but when you see the components in front of you, you think, man, how am I supposed to do this? How in the world is that supposed to function properly? So further, more deeply, like this. So, this particular part here should indeed be less of an issue now that we are supporting this section here. The upper portion, or the left half, I'll mention casually. This is somewhat akin to a mental puzzle at this juncture. Does it work or does it not? So, now he's not building that damn stone for me. Certainly so. Alright, we have indeed already encountered a component malfunction here. At this juncture, we need to thoroughly assess the situation, as I'm creating quite a disturbance here now. Precisely, position that right here at this moment, and in some manner, interconnect everything present here with this particular one, as an example. Should work, yeah? Just a little bit more. Yes, indeed, precisely. That's exactly how I envisioned it. I sincerely want to understand if it could potentially crash more. Let's conduct a test. I still don't completely trust it at this point. Alright, the weights are indeed holding. The weights are indeed maintaining their position securely. Please wait for a short moment as I have finished it. The structure is actually holding up quite effectively, and we haven't even utilized all of the stones yet. I am just a tad bit proud of myself. Good day. This location is truly astonishing. I've been here for less than 5 minutes and have already observed numerous fascinating things, such as the construction of a bridge. Thank you for your help. I am an archaeologist and wanted to explore this area. Then suddenly there were problems with the plane. Before you showed up, I was already starting to believe in the curse of the great mountain spirit. My sensors are currently detecting no additional life forms in the surrounding area. Did you arrive here on your own? No, I came accompanied by 2 others. Oh, indeed. Do we need to rescue them as well? An additional aviator and a correspondent. We do not need to be overly concerned about the pilot. I am confident she is quite capable of taking excellent care of herself. Nevertheless, it would not astonish me if the reporter's panic was the cause of the plane's unfortunate crash.
Alright, so we shall endeavor to locate both of them as swiftly as we can manage. Where might the aircraft have ultimately ended up?
The pilot said she planned to land on the mountain. You should check there. Oh, and could you take my... What? Also, feel free to take my whip, huh? Similar to Indiana Jones, renowned archaeologists frequently possess something akin to this, a pleasant reference, at the very least the Indies, indeed. For the legal departments within large-scale corporations, whips consistently present significant challenges. Alright, I believe we all grasp this reference. Quite nice. With the whip in your possession, you are now capable of swinging up to certain specific locations, which is rather pleasant. Ah, here is a post. Certainly, thank you very much. It will undoubtedly be extremely beneficial to us, hopefully. And if you happen to find the others, kindly inform them to meet me at the base camp. Certainly, search for the other plane passengers who are still missing. Alright, at this moment we possess a whip, much like Indiana Jones. How should I utilize the whip at this point? That is indeed the subsequent question. There is a whip emblem located down there. Employing the whip. Alright, it turned out to be less complicated than I had originally expected. Significantly less complicated. Although we've never been here before, something about this entrance seems familiar to me. Strange. And that would be the act of entering. Oh, alright, could you specify exactly where we are currently situated at this particular location? Employ. Can't we get through here because of the plants or what? Go down to this spot. Hold on, this particular signal. Now I finally recognize it. This is technology from the aliens I met while I was wandering through space. Back then, they helped me improve myself. That's how I became so smart. Maybe I can become even smarter. We'll have to see. I am confident that I can acquire new knowledge at this podium once more. Let's proceed. If he learns something nice, that's good too. Maybe he'll get his arms and legs back someday. Oh, wow, I genuinely feel it. I feel extraordinarily powerful, as if I could free something that is firmly ensnared by robust, unyielding vines. Is there anything similar in the vicinity? I would truly love to test out this newfound strength. Alright. Oh, what exactly just transpired during that particular moment? Press the cross button to execute a formidable and powerful slam onto the ground. Alright, now let's examine what exactly we have in this situation. Does it fit in this particular spot? Does it ascend to this location? Or hold on for just a brief moment. Hold on for just a brief moment. There's a ladder available. With that, I am capable of eliminating the palm trees. Alright, that implies we are actually capable of going to any location now. I don't really know to what extent such an action will cost us in terms of energy. Can't. Did I just become slightly confused with the direction here? Now we have the supports here. We can't go that way anymore. Can we somehow go right here? Because otherwise we won't reach the box here. I can already see that. I seem to have missed something here. Companions of the Sun. Wait, it goes down here too. Not everything is immediately visible at the first glance, correct? Hello. Alright, this is simply the very final one right here. As usual, it's all the way back here. That is rather disagreeable. I am uncertain. Is it restricted? We shall discover this capability together. Banana, lovely fruit. I gently peel you. We've received 50 bananas. Now let's continue with our task. So I'm not entirely certain what I'm going to do with this at the moment, but yes, it's meal time. The inquiry at this juncture is, where do we advance from this specific location, because I do not perceive any alternative exit at the current moment, and I am unable to ascend here either. There doesn't seem to be anything present here, and I am unable to break anything there as well. I don't perceive any other whip symbol at this time. What do we have here? Absolutely nothing. I'm somewhat perplexed. Do I have fish on my eyes? I can't discern where to advance. The only alternative path I've discovered thus far is back here, as I mentioned, but it doesn't break, so there's genuinely only one direction we can advance, which is here. However, we can't proceed further here, we can't ascend there apparently, so that leaves only this path, which also doesn't break. Nothing to gain, nothing to let yourself fall up or down, okay? Now I can definitely proceed this way once more. So, should we actually return because the arrow is indicating in that direction once more? Okay, that was merely a stopover. Okay, does it proceed anywhere else here? Companions of the sun, I believe we need to hang down here once more. So, what do we have here? Wait a moment, that resembles the wheel for water. The statue is held by vines, which I could tear if I were strong enough. Okay, let's attempt this once more. First comprehend what they desire from you here, the colleagues. Okay, additional wheels here. We need to examine what's up with the statue here. First, let's observe what we have here. Rebuild the monkey statue. Oh dear, right? Oh, you cannot genuinely be serious. You must certainly be jesting with me, correct? Could someone kindly transmit the comprehensive blueprint via fax at your earliest possible convenience? Oh my goodness. Let's initiate with the most apparent element here. I am inclined to believe this is the component because it closely resembles the feet of the statue. I also have confidence that this is indeed the case. Is this accurate? It ought to be somewhat more straightforward than we initially anticipated. At least I sincerely hope so. We are undoubtedly fortunate that we are not required to reconstruct every individual tiny component. One must truly appreciate the minor details. What stands out prominently here are these two arches. Although they are positioned at the front, we need to adjust them slightly by rotating them in this manner. Yes, I am convinced it is precisely in this direction. Additionally, we have these two taller arches as well, which are located right here. We shall observe. It is not entirely that uncomplicated. Indeed, I find myself experiencing the inclination once again to interact with some construction blocks and indulge in a bit of crafting independently. I would genuinely like to engage in that activity once more. So let's take a look now. But as I said, it's planned, it's set, so we're doing a bit of analog because it's simple. First of all, I'm excited about it. And secondly, we also need some diversity in the program, right? Something a bit different, more engaging and interactive. We want more time to talk with each other, to have fun and so on. And I genuinely believe that would undoubtedly be an outstanding concept for it. So, concerning this particular section at the moment, it should fundamentally be precise, yet there seems to be something still missing here. Wait a minute, he didn't set that thing. Is this arriving initially at this moment? The question is, what exactly is supposed to come here, and in which specific order does it arrive first? Because there's this particular plate situated here in the center, which we still require regardless, correct? That specific item will arrive ultimately. I just realized that specific item will indeed arrive ultimately. Definitely. This right here, hold on a moment. Where exactly is it? Where exactly is my cursor anyway? Hello? There he is. We require this particular thing right here at this very moment. This is precisely what we need. Please hold on for just a brief moment, as this should undoubtedly be the correct one. Precisely identical from both the front and the back. Therefore, at this specific moment, it genuinely makes sense. Everyone, I was sincerely quite frightened just a brief moment ago. This is going to be a highly intricate and thrilling operation, but even though it's somewhat fiddly, it's certainly achievable. Will I receive something particularly delightful for everything meticulously crafted here? So, at this moment, we simply require the head, in quotation marks, if that is how you prefer to refer to it. One must ponder with substantial magnanimity, but for the current moment, let's simply designate it as a head, and that unveils yet another opportunity for us, which I find exceptionally fascinating. A hidden entrance leading into the mountain. Let's do it right away. Let's go inside and see what's in there. But first I'd like to take a look at what's out here. Who are you? Eager biologist embodied as a tree. Wait a moment, we need to advance with this promptly. My senses indicate that this tree is not a plant. I had suspected it as well. Please be quiet, or you'll scare away the animals. What are you doing in this location? I am currently studying exotic animal species, particularly these fascinating chameleons. They are so incredibly well camouflaged that I have not found any as of yet. Could you perhaps bring me some? I believe that 20 should suffice. What a wonderful idea. 20? I think that might be a bit excessive. Okay, I think we will actually begin with the journey here in the mountainous region and then observe how it progresses. So, the quest for the remaining airplane passengers continues. What do we have here? There is a chameleon situated over there, for instance, but unfortunately I am unable to reach it at this particular moment. I cannot access it right now. Alright, that's quite frustrating, so we must find an alternative method. There are certainly levers present here. I always appreciate levers, yet I am unable to move it. Why is that? Let's continue with our exploration in this area for the time being. At the very least, I can consistently remove the palm trees. Why am I unable to ascend to that specific location? Is it possible for me to ascend using the vine? Unfortunately, there isn't any symbol present, which is quite peculiar. Hold on a second. There's also a ladder available. Are you able to leap down from that location? I'm not completely certain, but it does not seem to be the situation. I've only recently arrived in this particular location, my friends, so kindly refrain from teasing me. Consequently, we have reached the opposite end. Indeed, we just came from that direction, right? I would most certainly express it that way. Or is it indeed feasible for me to lower this particular object? I presume that is precisely what this mechanism is intended for. But how exactly do I activate it? I find myself confronted with a somewhat intricate and complex puzzle positioned directly in front of me at this very moment. Entering observation mode? Ah, yes indeed. But there are merely two distinct components. Hold on for a brief moment. I need to somehow gain access to this particular lever. I believe with the assistance of this lever, I can eliminate these sticks, these barriers present here. However, at this precise moment, I am faced with two dilemmas. Firstly, one lever is situated on the opposite side of the water, and I am unable to reach that location. I also do not observe any components for a bridge scattered around here. On the other side, we possess a lever, yet I am unable to reach it for some reason. There's nothing suggesting that I could activate it or anything of that nature. Is there something else present around here? No, it leads to the more diminutive staircase because I am convinced that with one of the levers, this treasure chest also descends. Yet, how is the crucial question? We have already solved one or two puzzles within this area and also construction-wise. Should it fail now due to this minor brain teaser? I do not believe so. However, regardless, I shall take a brief moment to contemplate. Friends, that concludes our session for today for the time being. I hope you had a bit of fun. If so, feel free to leave a like or a follow, thumbs up, ring the bell, and subscribe if you'd like. I also appreciate nice comments. Feel free to check it out, and if you're interested, take a look at the new shop. There's cool merch, cool hoodies, shirts, and much more. Perfect for winter. Also nice and warm and cozy if that's what you want. So that's it from me for now. I just want to say thank you for watching. See you next time. Goodbye.